योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम ராம் சூரத்குமார் ஜெய குருராயா யோகி ராம் சூரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சூரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சூரத்குமார் ஜெய குருராயா ராம 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 Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, 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 Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, 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 Rama Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, 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 Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Yogi Ram Tirukuma, Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Yogi Ram Surat Kumar, Jaya Guru Raya. भगवान श्री योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी राम सूरत कुमारार्पणमस्तु। Knowing very well that it is no small grace that we have all been able to gather here and sing His powerful name in His powerful shrine. We have offered the Nama lotuses with deep gratitude in celebration of this grace. Let's continue to offer the Nama lotuses and the Seva lotuses as much as possible all through the day and day after day after day. For that is the purpose of life. To remember God. To remember the name is to remember God, and to remember God is to live in God. Here is a story which I would like to share with you, which of course I have done before. It's time to recall it, to learn a certain lesson. We all know that Dronacharya was the guru of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The good Pandavas, only 5 in number, but the evil Kauravas, 100 in number. They were cousins and they were princesses of Hastinapura. So they had all come to the Gurukul to learn all the 64 arts, fine arts, and also the army tactics. Now one day, the Guru Dronacharya asked Dharmaputra, the eldest of the Pandavas, was an embodiment of Dharma. He said, Yudhishthira, you go to the village nearby and find out one evil man in the whole village. Go find out what kind of people live there. And then, of course, he ransacked the whole village and finally came back and said, Swami, I could not find one evil man there. Everyone is so good. And then he called Duryodhana, the eldest of the Kauravas, very wicked-minded. He gave the same mission to him. Go to the village and find out what kind of people there. He came back. He also spent a whole day talking to those village people
and finally came back in the evening to report there was not one good soul in the whole village. This story we all know. The same village, same people, now two opposite, extremely opposite views. It shows what kind of mentality each one has. The world is only a reflection of your own mind. If you are evil-minded, the whole world would look evil. This is what the story says. But there is something beyond it. When this happened to two disciples of a guru, and the two disciples reported the same thing, the good one said there was no evil man in the whole village, and the evil one said there was no good man in the whole village. The guru asked them, how is it? Both of you visited the same village, and how can you find different kinds of people? Then the good one said, Swami, it's true, I saw a murderer in one of the houses in the village, and there was a dacoit in another house. And then I also found a house where a prostitute lived. But then I saw something else also. The dacoit, he found out the people, the poor people of the village, who could not afford one single meal a day. And he cooked food and fed them sumptuously. And then I saw the murderer. The murderer was walking on the road, and there was one old man, very sick, and fell down and was in great pain, agony of pain. The murderer immediately came near, supported him, and then took him to his house and looked after him. He served this man until he became well. And then I went to the prostitute's house, and I saw 4 children playing around. And I asked them who they were. They said they were all orphan children. And that the prostitute, of course they wouldn't say prostitute, said, Amma is looking after all of us with great care and concern and compassion, as if we are her own children. Then I understood, even in the most evil-minded person, there is one good streak. There is something good in them. They are not totally evil. And so that gives us hope that they are still good-hearted, and maybe the circumstances have made them so. Whatever it is, I found this kindness in all of them. So I cannot declare that the whole village is bad, just because a few people, by the force of circumstances, have turned towards the unwanted habits. So now the story tells us that we should not jump to conclusions, and that we should not declare anyone as evil. This reminds me of a story which I have shared many times with you people. A man had written a letter from South Africa saying that there was no sin that he had not committed, that he could be called a wholesale sinner. And then he had concluded his letter, "You are a great soul." That's what they all say. What could you do for me, people like me? I'm not able to save myself from my habits. What can you do? Or can you do something at all? When I read this letter out to Bhagwan, it made me think again and again. He was right. He was unable to transform himself. And he needed someone like Bhagwan to uplift him out of this quagmire. But then I looked at Bhagwan. He was very serious. He was also smoking. And then I could not bring myself to ask him. But then this thought was swirling inside all the time. He's right. What can Bhagwan do for him? And how will he do it? So the next day, Bhagwan and I were walking in the garden, up and down. And there was a part of this garden which had the soil. Now 2 or 3 days before, when I had gone upstairs, the terrace, the next plot had a huge mango tree. And there was one beautiful mango, flawless, very inviting, was hanging there, and for a minute I was tempted because Bhagwan liked mango chutney. So I almost plucked it because there was nobody there. No house, nothing. The owners had just left it like that. It was gathering a lot of rubbish there and the dry leaves. But this mango was hanging, very tempting. But then I withdrew my hand immediately because I knew no matter what, it belonged to the next plot and Bhagwan would not like me to pluck something that's not ours. So I came down, resisting the temptation. Now 2 days have passed. And we were walking up and down, and suddenly I saw that mango down there, half buried in the slush. And there was also the stain of the mud, the slush, all over. And what was more, it must have been there for a day or two because there were fungus, white and black in color. And what was more, added to this scene, there was a millipede climbing over that. It was a total picture of disgust. And as soon as I saw that, Bhagwan stopped walking. And then I knew something was going to happen, and that regarding that mango. There were butterflies in my stomach. This time it was not Bhagwan in the form of butterfly. There were many butterflies in my stomach because I knew Bhagwan was going to do something, and for all I knew, he could be asking me to eat it. Imagine my plight. But I could do nothing about it. I had to obey. And then he said exactly what I expected. There, okay. You see that mango there? Will you bring it? I had to obey. So I went near, and then with a thin stick, I removed the millipede and then took this mango out of the slush. It looked very bad, with those fungus all over. And then I hurriedly came to Bhagwan and said, Bhagwan, let me wash this and come. I almost turned away from him, but he said, Devki, no. You bring it over here. He took it from my hand and he was examining it. He turned it over and over again. And then he said, again what I expected, "You see this pot, Devki? Will you please bring a knife from the kitchen?" Now I knew things had gone far beyond, and there was no way I could stop him, and probably the mango was going to have its samadhi inside my stomach. With apprehension, I rushed to the kitchen and brought a knife. And that's when he showed me the spot. He said, "Look at this, Devki. Look at this spot. Can you see it?" I saw a spot completely flawless, a beautiful, delectable yellow. There was no fungus at all, and it was no region where the millipede had climbed. "Can you cut this spot alone?" Then I did that, and then I pulled it out, and it was beautiful red inside. That portion alone was ripe. And then he took it from my hand. He bit into it. He seemed to relish the taste of mango, and then left a little, gave it to me to eat. "Devki, eat this." So when I put it in my, now I didn't mind at all because it has become his prasad. It was coming to me from his hand. Immediately I took it. It was so sweet. I just could not imagine a mango like that, half buried in the slush, with fungus all over. It must have been bitten by a monkey. Soon after I saw it, and it would have dropped it there. So that went straight into the slush. In fact, when I looked at it first time and I saw that buried, half buried in the slush, I was reminded of the letter of this person from South Africa. The flawless, beautiful mango has now fallen down, bitten by a monkey, and half buried in the slush with fungus all over, and a millipede claiming it and climbing it. It reminded me of him. He must have also been like that mango that was hanging there, spotlessly clean. And this sinning must have started sometime, somewhere, probably forced by circumstances or some bad influence. And it is when I thought of that man, comparing him with this mango, that Bhagavan stopped walking and asked me to bring that mango. And that's how the whole Leela happened. But then, after I ate it with some relish, because it was very, very nice, very sweet, he looked at me with a smile and it flashed. Suddenly it flashed. Oh yes, I was thinking of that man, the wholesale sinner. So even in such people, there must be a spot, some good spot in them, flawless. Just as in the other story, one of the students saw the dacoit feeding all the poor of the village, and the prostitute bringing up those children as her own children, the murderer caring for the sick man. So they all have a good spot in them, and Bhagavan cut that spot and ate it with relish. So what does it show? These Mahatmas know the good streak in them, and through the good spot, they would get into them and transform them. So no one is totally evil or totally good. So we are not to jump to conclusions. Instead, let us learn to see that good streak in each one, no matter how bad they looked or conducted themselves, just as even the good ones might have a flaw in them. So just as Bhagavan said, whatever happens, happens by His grace, and it's perfect because He is perfect. So we have to learn to see the good in every creature and know that it is perfect by itself. We shall now offer our today's prayer. Bhagavan, we beg you again and again, for that's all we can do. And we do it a million times for your immediate divine intervention to bring forth or to change the attitude of the whole world. For it's full of violence today. We beg you to bring in peace, unity, discipline, control, and harmony into the lives of people, so that people would live a dharmic life with remembrance of God. Otherwise, people would live any way they like and would create a philosophy to justify whatever they are doing, even the violent incidents. They have their own justification. Those wars, the violent wars that are going on in the name of God, in the name of religion, with such disastrous consequences, I'm sure they have their own justification in doing what they are doing. Bhagavan, we beg you to stop them immediately so that peace be prevalent. We also beg you to bless the whole world so that there will be no thought of war in anyone's mind in all those countries. And we also beg you to keep under control those sudden attacks of those killer diseases and violent furies of nature and those devastating accidents. Above all this, we beg you to uproot all the negativities of the human mind, the asuric thoughts which are responsible for today's world of violence. Whichever country people belong to, whatever language they speak, and whatever religion they have embraced, every one of them will come under the impact of the law of karma. Everyone gets into some suffering or the other based on their past bad karma, and they go through these agonies without any help or protection. The law of karma is divine justice. Often I used to think, to my own amusement, that there is a divine CCTV everywhere. Nothing can escape its attention. Everything is being registered. And there's a giant cosmic computer where everybody's karmic account is maintained with such meticulousness. So here, whether they believe in the past karmas or not, the law of karma doesn't wait for your faith. It's precise and it doesn't spare anybody. Relentless. But then, above all this, there is the costless grace of God. So let's appeal to His compassion and generosity and pray that Bhagavan's grace should reach out to all those people all over the world suffering from some adversity or the other, so that they will also get some relief And Bhagavan, we beg you again to protect all those people who are unselfish and serving hard for the welfare of the other people. From what? From unnecessary, unhealthy, unworthy criticisms and aspersion. Bhagavan, we also beg you to promote the economy of the country, to give a big boost to it, and promote the growth in varied fields, spheres of activity, right from science and technology to spirituality, so that India would reach that specific high level of world teacher, the high status of world teacher, to conduct the whole world in the path of Dharma. We also pray to you in all earnestness for joyful and ceaseless chanting of your name, and unbroken remembrance of your leelas and teachings, so that we assimilate them. We have to bring it to the mind again and again, just as we saw yesterday in the story. You attend a satsang with rapt attention, and after that you bring to your mind whatever you learnt there again and again and again. It's called Manana Yoga. And when you do Manana properly, then there is absolute clarity in the mind, and you would know what to do and what not to do. And what's more, your mind gets fixed on that which you have understood as the highest. It's called dhyana, which would further lead to samadhi. We beg you, Bhagavan, to bless us all to be only sattvic instruments in your hands and not rakshasic. And please bless our everyday life so that we run it as an offering to you and not be caught by the temptations of Maya. We also seek that ultimate state of being, the state of bliss and peace, the state of pure awareness of yours. But then our minds have to be purified. Right now, the mind is clouded with worldliness and also residual latent tendencies of our past karmas, especially bad karmas. So what happens? The mind gets swayed by unwanted emotions, the vicious fear and poisonous anger and fiery words of abuse, jealousy, vengeance, passion, and then grief or sorrow over every little thing. Uncontrollably, people compare themselves with other people, and despite all the blessings they've already got, they catch hold of something that they lack in by comparison, and then hold on to it, blow it out of all proportion, and finally land in depression and medicine. But Bhagavan, you have declared that the divine name is a very powerful weapon which can destroy all our past sins and prevent us from further sins. And it's capable of destroying the vasanas, those latent tendencies of the mind, completely, purifying our mind. We take refuge in your powerful name and seek your blessings for our early purification. And wherever we live in this world, whatever work falls into our hand, we know it's all your work, and we should be able to do it as seva to you, and that joyfully, without any unhealthy competition or jealousy, so that every one of our actions will turn into Atma Shakti. Please bless us to practice acceptance of whatever life brings to us, be it a joy or sorrow. It comes by your will, based on our karmic account. Since you are behind it, it's got to be a great blessing, meant for our greater good, our spiritual transformation and closer kinship with you. Bhagavan, please bless us to look upon every adversity as a definite blessing from you, meant for our spiritual growth, and therefore accept it. And then it will show sooner or later, how it is a blessing, and every adversity will turn into a higher wisdom. Otherwise, we feel let down by God. And then we begin to abuse Him. And not only that, we blame others bitterly for our own failures, little realizing that all the adversities, sufferings, we have invited by our own past karmas. But then God, out of His generosity, puts a blessing even in the punishment, which of course, when you begin to look upon as a definite blessing, will turn into higher wisdom, purifying our mind, and God's power begins to reflect there. We pray to you, Bhagavan, to bless us all, to be grateful to you, no matter how much suffering we have to go through in life. For we know now they are definite blessings meant for our higher life. We also seek your blessings for all the species of the cosmos to be lifted to a higher plane. And finally, we seek liberation, redemption from the vicious cycle of births and deaths, the root cause of which is only the utter selfishness of the ego, the I and mine that rule all our lives, the ahambhava. We beg you, Bhagavan, to uproot this ahambhava and promote Atma Bhava, so that we all be blessed with that immortal life, that eternal living in merger with you, or eternal servitude in surrender to you, that eternal supreme divinity. Jai Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar.